Oh, yeah, it is the Bill Show, back from the vacation. What a fantastic vacation. I really feel like, and I don't know, do you feel like this, listeners? I feel like I got away, I got shot at without result last year. You know, I feel like I really made it out of like a war zone that was 2011. I really feel that way. I don't know if many of you do, but I'm still a little bit gun shy, but very relieved that 2011 is over and that we made it and that you made it back too. Monday, it's Vacation Monday for most of the United States and probably the world, but not for us here. No, sir. I was planning on doing my show as usual and then found out that I was really planning on doing my show. Even better, because I was just going to slough off today. I was going to do something, record an evergreen, essentially. Give you a little bit of my Christmas gifts and tell you about what I did. But I got something completely better, way better. I got Jacob from Celsius 7 in here. It is Jacob, right?
Yeah, that's mine.
Fantastic. Welcoming everyone into the new year. Happy New Year, everyone. And you know what? I'm just going to load this next song up and go into that now that I got you in here. I did enough preamble. I'll do a preamble tomorrow, too. Because, like I said, today's a vacation day. And I can't believe you're in the Tajmahoney. This is really special for me. Here's some of the Celsius 7 right now. And that is the name of the album, too, that you're promoting right now, Life Well Spent, which is comes on the heels of the Wanderlust or Wanderlost?
Wanderlust, yeah.
Wanderlust album. And that's a throwback to Stage and Screen.
Is it?
Yeah. That was an old show back in like the 20s.
Wow, I never saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't that for me. It was just kind of a description of like where I was at in my life at the time, and I kind of now too, I guess.
Yeah.
Like just traveling and just experiencing life a lot and having that lust for it, I guess.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, you should be doing that because you're what is this music now? Is this hip hop?
Yeah.
This is hip hop.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's hip hop.
I never know because people call it all sorts of stuff, and sometimes when you tell an artist what their music is, they get angry.
They get all touchy and stuff. Right?
Yeah.
No, it's definitely hip hop. I mean, I think what people get twisted up sometimes is like, oh, is it rap? Is it hip hop? And
yeah,
people look at it differently. To me, hip hop is the culture, and it's more how I describe my music as hip hop as being something that maybe a little bit more like fun and conscious, and rap. Sometimes people look at it as like, oh, those are the dudes that hold their dicks and fucking say yo 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 and swear, or maybe it's more like street, like urban kind of like reporting or something like that. So everyone has different definitions. I'm definitely have been a hip hopper for a long time, and that's what it is for me.
Well, I've noticed, and I don't know if the audience can see this, but you're a white man, and most people can't say that. They can't hear that because you're not speaking black, right?
I'm not speaking black.
You're not speaking like over-exaggerated black, like you're not doing the Herman Cain type of imitation while you're in front of me.
I don't. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad I'm not. I just I talk how I talk, and I grew up in the Bay Area, so I do get sometimes people think that I'm from the East Coast, and I think that's just because I've been listening to hip hop since I was probably 6 years old or something like that, and you were telling me earlier that you're influenced by the East Coast.
Well, who are some of your influences?
Well, early on, it was like even before I was even aware of it, like I was listening to Sugar Hill Gang with my older brothers and knew all the words to Rapper's Delight. And
Sugar Hill Gang was the first one. The hip hop,
yeah.
the hip.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the first one I remember hearing, and I knew all the words to that because I had an older brother that was into it, and then after that, it was like Slick Rick, Dougie Fresh, Run DMC, Beastie Boy. Just I went through the whole thing from like '79, basically. I was like 4 years old.
Yeah.
At that time. So, yeah, and it all originated on the East Coast. So I'm sure I just pick up a lot of that, and it's just I just talk. I don't notice I have an accent, but people tell me that all the time. So
yeah, well, I guess you don't have a stereotypical California accent, but I just hear normal.
Yeah,
essentially.
Good. That's good. I got you fooled.
Which I guess I
have a freezer and head in my freezer, so that's good.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's why I didn't send your girlfriend out to the backyard. I said, no. I can't explain the tiaras and high heels with dirt and blood on them. No, they're just no. So you do the whole hip hop thing, and you're local. You're from, do you find a lot, like I'm from L.A. now. I say I'm from L.A. because I lived here 20 years at least. So I figure I'm from L.A. now.
Qualify.
I'm a transplant. And so I put down roots and stuff like that. But do you feel like there are a lot of people that aren't from Oakland who have just sort of say they're from Oakland now?
Not like it's going to be to their benefit. You know what I mean? It's like I actually grew up in Alameda, which is an island in the Bay, a stone's throw from Oakland. So I grew up there until I was about 17, moved to San Francisco. I've been in Oakland for the last 12 years. I'm from the Bay. So I don't run into people that like try to front like they're from the Bay, and I mean, I'm sure people do it. People want to be from places that they're not.
Well, yeah, Oakland's got such a cache for like tough guy type of stuff, I would imagine.
I mean, a lot of different stuff, yeah, for sure. Like a lot of political movement and, gangsters and players and sports. And it's such a vibrant place. There's a lot of things you can get into there. And
Jerry Brown for a little while.
Yeah, well, even that. Well, yeah, that's right. I was like,
he was the mayor?
Yeah, he's the governor now. That's right. Yeah. I'm very political, you can tell. But yeah, I don't run into that too much, I mean,
because one of the things I think that makes a person like cognizant of their behavior is that that the people that they grew up around are still around them. The community type of thing or the bonds that they make are still around them. And like that's why I didn't like you didn't have any pretensions when you came in today, and there was no sort of like, hey, I'm Celsius 7, my name's Jacob, we're in the house now. Even though at a certain point you were, and you don't make up any sort of like BS, a voice to come in here with or anything like that.
I mean, it's just me. I think when I first started making music, and it just came from me not knowing myself as well. Like you felt like there was this kind of a vision, like, or this is what hip hop looks like. This is what a rapper should look like. And I think maybe I tried to fit in at a younger age when I wasn't as comfortable. And now, I mean, it's just I make my music because it's my voice and it's what I like to do. And it's me. So yeah, I definitely run into that a lot, and it kills me just like when I'll do a show or if I'm on tour and I meet other groups that I open up for and I'm like, hey, what's up? I'm Jacob, and they're like, what's up? I'm Young Killer. Or like, I'm like, really, dude? Come on, man. I'm not your fan, like it's just, I would never introduce myself by my band's name or, it's just.
Even though in that one song that I did, you do the Limp Bizkit thing where you say, Celsius 7 in the house.
No, I said you're now in tune to Celsius 7's Life Well Spent, which is just like this is the album you're listening to. This is the the voice or the,
because that's the first one on the track. That's the first track on the album too.
Yeah.
And so what is this album more about? So the last one was about partying.
No, not
and
at all.
Having a great time
with the last album.
Wanderlust.
Wanderlust was the name of my last album and also the name of the title track to the album. And the album itself, I started off with this group called Psychokinetics.
Yeah.
And it was me and my boy Spidey, DJ Denizen, and then Ill Media. I had two DJs, two MCs. And Wanderlust was my first solo album off of Psychokinetics. And I purposely had no guests on the album. It was 13, 14 tracks of just me. And it just kind of spanned, myself. It's like funny, political, like heartfelt. Wanderlust is just about traveling the world and how big it is and how much there is to experience and what I've experienced. And this new album, Life Well Spent, has a lot of guests on it. it's a lot of people that I love as a fan, and also that I wanted to work with. And I kind of thought that this might be my last solo album, and I wanted to. It's kind of just like a thank you to everything that I've been doing with music over the last 12, 13 years or whatever. So
where did it start off? Because I know we were talking a little bit about a different hip hop producer out here, because we were talking about promo stuff. And where did you start off? Did you start off in like a group making stuff for Chemical Brothers, or doing loops for?
No.
Or like, where did you hone your skills? A young Jacob.
Growing up in Alameda, California, being so close to Oakland and in San Francisco, and just being in the Bay, you're exposed to a lot of different. And I loved hip hop from an early age. I would kind of like quietly and consciously like rap to myself, probably starting out at home, and try to write horrible songs. And me and my friends would freestyle together. We would just smoke a lot of weed and just like rap and beatbox.
You're a rapper. That must have been revolutionary.
Oh yeah, smoking. We were one of the first. Yeah, we were one of the first to actually smoke weed. So it was just like my love. It was just, I just wanted to do it, and it just came out of me. And at first I was really shy, because everyone that was making music around me they were all black or otherwise. And I kind of, for a while, like I felt really self-conscious, like, oh, I'm white. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this, even though
when I don't have the stuff to do it, type of
just
thing.
Just being young and self-conscious. I'd be like, okay, maybe this isn't for me, because a lot of people are like, what are you doing, white boy? Like, you get that, like the stupid 8 Mile slap on the head or whatever, people fucking with you. And that's just how high school is or whatever. Dudes are dicks, you know what I mean? And they're now, of course, you see that. And I had a lot of black friends too that were rappers and that were ill, and they were really good. And I'd freestyle with them, and they're like, dude, you're good, and so it's time for me to get comfortable.
When did you like pick up the instruments then, and then start recording and doing all the hard work? And like, did you belong to another group, or what was that all about?
No, it was me and my really good friends in high school. One of my best friends is Vietnamese, and his mom loves singing karaoke, and he had a karaoke machine at home. And so my other boy Domingo would tape splice instrumentals off recording. Basically what you do with records, like putting the breaks together to make a loop. Yeah. He would do it off tapes and record these instrumentals, because we didn't have any equipment then. And we would rap to it.
The karaoke machines all worked on those tapes.
Yeah, exactly. So we would rap. We would just have parties or just freestyle together, sometimes write songs.
And you could record your own, because it would have the one deck to play and the one deck to record as well.
Yeah, so that was the first shit we did, was besides just rapping in ciphers at parties or at high school or whatever, at Alameda High, we would record off these karaoke machines. And then when I think 1995 was the first song Psychokinetics ever recorded, and that was because my sister was going to San Francisco State, met Mark Reitman, who's Ill Media. He was an actual producer. He was probably like 6 years older than me, and he had equipment and was like really doing it. And he got us in there, and we did a song, and then we met this dude Jamie Hill, who ended up producing and recording our other two albums, and it kind of just took off from there, of us being into it and these guys wanting MCs to work with because they were producers.
Wow. So they just had the equipment, and they needed someone to put the product out to start producing the product.
Yeah, just start making music.
You guys are like a factory. Psychokinetics, and people can go check out that stuff at www.psychokinetics.com.
Yep.
And check out all the stuff there. And what's your website? Jacob from Celsius 7. Just
people Google me. No, I mean, it's whatever. Search me, Celsius 7 on the internet. I have so many different vehicles. I don't have a Celsius7.com. We basically use Psychokinetics.com as kind of the portal site.
Yeah.
Because Psychokinetics is basically a label now. So we release Psychokinetics first. And then we have another group called Calrissian. It's like comedy hip hop. That's really awesome. It's all 50s, 60s.
Lando Calrissian?
It's spelled with a K, but it's the same thing.
Oh,
it's
with
kind
the
of
dollar signs.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And that's an amazing project. It's really fun. And then Celsius 7. So if you just search Celsius 7, I have like Reverb Nation, Facebook, MySpace. Like there's so many.
The Calrissian thing. Yeah. So what's that looks like Kardashian when you look at it on tape. So you have some
I kind of look like Kardashian from behind too, I've been told.
Not at all. Do you have any big butt rhythms going on in there?
No, it's all It's like 50s and 60s lounge inspired hip hop, and
No way.
It's really dope. And the last album we did was called Tales from the Velvet Pocket, and it's a story album. So it's about these 4 losers who think they're the fucking cat's meow, and they're just the biggest players, but they're really all pretty much idiots. And it's like songs of their life and like going through these different capers and stuff
Of their
like
failures.
Yeah, and like many
Documenting.
successes, and I mean, it's great. And if you look up Calrissian, we're lucky enough to work with this group called Present Creative, and he makes the most amazing videos for us. Like, because there's 7 of us in the group, and we have dancers and visuals, and it's a whole huge experience. You know, like the Burning Man crowd has really taken us in, and they love what we're doing, and it's a lot of fun because Celsius 7 is more like, you know, it's fun also, but it's more a personal vehicle for me sometimes, and Calrissian is more just like let it all hang out kind of thing. So
That's awesome, and that's
fun.
with the dollar signs K and then
KAL. You can just search it's KALRISSIAN. We do use the dollar signs for album covers, but you look up Calrissian, and that website's calrissianbaby.com.
Yeah.
That shit's funny, man.
All right, I gotta definitely check that out as well. And what I'm missing is the link to how did those guys find out? I mean, honestly, how do you get mixed in with these people that have? Because that's a dream situation that you're just hanging out. You're already recording some stuff with your Vietnamese karaoke buddy and his mom.
Oh my.
And his mom,
right?
And you've got these tapes, probably 125-minute long tapes, BASF. Thank God for BASF. And then, so what do you do? How do these people in the studio, which is essentially a lot of money at the time in the mid '90s? That's like $100,000 worth of equipment in a studio. Yeah. How do they say, "Hey kid, can you tap dance here?"
Right.
How do they figure that out? But you know what? Before you get into that, I'm going to let everyone. That's called a cliffhanger in the business. I'm going to play something from your new album. This is Life Well Spent, and this is one of your tracks with Spidey.
Oh, nice.
And this is called Heavy Metal.
Heavy Mental with Spidey and High Right. And Spidey is from Psychokinetics. That's one of my best friends.
Awesome. So anything else you want to tell us about this song?
No, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's inspired a lot by a lot of the Occupy stuff that's been happening all around the world, really. But it's been real strong in Oakland, so...
Yeah. So we'll get into that, and we'll get into how those guys decided to invest their $100,000 worth of equipment on some guys with a karaoke tape. Error FM Live. This is the Bill Show. I'm with Jacob from Celsius 7. We'll be right back.
Take your life back, breath of fresh air. It's a new day, dawning at the top stair. Looking at your wealth, don't know what you got there. Poverty, health, the streets are looking quite bare. Love for the youth and love for the meek. Got love for the truth, you know what it means. Ha! Starting to prove and starting to see. We motivating all our people and we setting you free. Come on, gonna get your right of mind. Speaking the line of rhyme. You bet your bottom dollar we gonna get it right in time. Before the end of days, we calling out your name. We moving out of sight, your ship is going down in flames. This song will explain, you must refrain. Stop the bullshit, spitting out a new slang. Raise your fist if you wanna see some fucking change. Verbal slaughtering, I'm shitting on your fucking gang.
Blast to the gun got me running like a beta break. My heart pounds with inner kicks of an 808. We're in a state I'm in accelerated times, elevated and my mind prompt in this swamp dime. This is millennium signs, pivoting out of hand. Government plans, twisting, spinning like Spider-Man. Figuring Dr. Calaman was right on the Eclipto. Better be prepared for the light of Apocalypto. So go ahead and test, I sacrifice you like an Aztec. Going for broke like I'm waiting for my last check. It's a fight for conscience, birthday and conscience. People like nonsense, it's easier to process. I'm telling you, these monsters are on the espionage. They'll turn you to sausage, feeding the facade. So I reach for the deeper cell, key to the locked up cell. Teach for the growing child and seeds to the power of now.
Strictly head question, head question. Yeah. Strictly head question. To the streets. I eat 'em with no chewing, my crew is never losing. There'll be no master speaker, don't plan on leaving bruising. We gotta keep it moving, the globe is spinning faster. If you ain't gonna drop 'em, get off the alabaster. Cause we ain't pussyfooting, we got a dream to capture. We living for the present, not for what's coming after. My sadness and my laughter is bunched up in a ball, and rolling hard, trying to break on through this fucking wall. I'm sick of all the warring, and all the people starving. I'm sick of feeling sickened, slipping out the margin. Somebody give us purpose, somebody give us hope. Some cooks out giving hand and not up all this lyrics rope. I'm chasing else and status, I'm watching a bunch of actors. I saw the love within her, but lost it on the mattress. Let's go get lost together and find a cozy rental. I'm only happy when releasing on this heavy mental. Strictly head question, strictly head question. Strictly head question, true to the streets.
Baby,
Yeah,
these last few months have been so beautiful.
they sure have.
I know I'm putting myself out there by saying this, and I don't want to rush you,
Come on, sugar
but I
bun.
gotta tell you, I think I'm falling in love.
Then why come you friends with Stacy on Facebook?
Oh, thank
Yeah.
Thank you. You have such a nice studio audience here, Bill. Very
Thank
receptive. Thank you.
Yes, and very polite. You like the way they all stop at the same
Yeah,
time.
they're so quiet.
Yeah, I got them on command anytime. That was really rocking, and that reminded me a lot of
Don't
that
say
one
Limp
band-
Bizkit, please.
no, that one band. Let me turn down the stuff in the other band. Killing in the Name of.
Killing in
Who
the
was
name
that?
of.
They would do that one. The one group with the guy with the long. I got it. You stay right there.
Okay. I have no idea. I don't know. I'm not sure who that is, but
Sure
I'll
you
keep talking.
do. Yeah, it's the one guy.
Killing in the name
Oh,
of.
he's got the hair. Yeah, Killing in the Name of. You know the guy.
I kind of remember the song.
Hey, he's a big.
Killing in.
Not Limp Bizkit. It's oh god, what is this guy's name?
I don't know.
Yes, you do, and everyone in the audience knows his name too. He's the guy, and he played at the Democratic Convention in 2000 down here in Los Angeles, and they shut down the thing because of him. Rise and Fall, I think. No, that's a different one. Oh God, not Limp Bizkit, but the other one at the time. Rage Against the Machine.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah.
It
Okay.
has that type of a beat. Now, where do you get your beats? Because you said you don't sample. Where do you guys come up with all that? No, what? Hold on. The question that I got so many questions for Jacob from Celsius 7 right here at the Tajmahoney. You can check out his stuff at Psychokinetics.com. Now, what the question was, how come these guys decided to spend so much money on their equipment and time on you guys as fresh kids?
It wasn't even that they spent it, on us, exactly. It was just that they were, Ill Media was a DJ and a producer already. He was doing his thing and he wasn't working with that many MCs. So it wasn't like he bought his equipment, but he, along with Jamie Hill, graciously recorded us for free, basically. They just liked us. We got along well, and we started making music together. So we're really lucky to have not had to spend a lot of money on recording the albums that we've released, which is like now, we just did our 7th one label wise.
Did they hook you up with the right people at the time? I mean,
well, they were
how
on.
did you then? Because I mean, it's okay. You get someone to make, and a lot of people get this opportunity to someone throws the opportunity at them to record something at a really sophisticated place, and they don't take advantage of it.
Right.
How did you guys then? Like, what happened after that cool recording?
Right.
To get you guys into a place like you told me you've had stuff on Fox for Fox Sports. You've had some of your stuff played on Fox Sports,
sure,
and other things. So where does it go from there? Once you got this, now you got this super cool recording.
Right.
Who bites, and what's your next rung of the ladder?
This has just all been gradual hustle. It's like we've never really had a manager with Psychokinetics, Celsius 7, Calrissian. We've all pulled together and we've done it ourselves. Booking shows, booking licensing, tours. Like, it's all been independent. But within the groups, we've all lended a hand doing everything. So it's really just, I mean, I told you we recorded our first song in 1995, and it's just been hustle ever since then.
So what was the first project that got bought? Did you get bought out by a movie? Did you get put on a movie soundtrack? I mean, because back then music publishing was still alive and offering people
right,
money
which it still is,
stuff.
and which I'm still pursuing. That's never been like we've hooked up with one person that was like, "Hey, come on, kid, we're gonna take you to the top." It's just like. We worked with, I'm trying to think of the name of the company, when I hooked up with like a college radio station, and people that would market your music to them. Our music got picked up by Fox Sports. So we've had our music licensed in some TV shows, independent movies, different stuff like that, but nothing like huge, I'm not on the Gillette commercial or anything, huge like that yet. It's just like, that's why I try not to use any samples now, because that is such a good way to make money off your art, So to answer your question, it was all of us. We worked our asses off. We continue to work our asses off. Like, I love you to everyone out there that's given us the little, bits of help here and there to like get us these different jobs or, but it's just been, I mean, shit. Yeah, now I can say it's been since 1995. It's been 16 years, really, that we've been not doing that as like a full-time thing, because we all have a lot of different interests, but releasing all this music and all the effort and blood, sweat, and tears has all been us. And I'm really proud to like see where I started from at that point of being like, oh shit, should I be rapping? To all of a sudden, I'm opening for Too Short, or I'm in Singapore at the, like doing a show, and I'm like, wow. All this hard work has really paid off, because it's been a lot of fun.
And so that's mainly where you guys are getting a lot of your recognition from, is the live thing, the live show that you do, more so than what you've produced, and like the different connections that you have associated with like a movie project or a Fox Sports thing.
Totally.
It's much more is on a live thing.
Yeah, it hasn't been like we've had any, big licensing thing that's put us to the forefront. Like, I still feel like that hasn't even come. It's like we haven't got any of that commercial. It's all been on an independent level. And luckily for us, like the Bay Area's had such a strong independent hip hop scene, and just like we have a lot of great music that does and has come out of there. And it's all just been off the hustle of like doing live shows, getting our music to college radio, traveling, touring a little bit, and now with the social media and getting it out there. But I mean, it's such not even 1% of the world knows about my music, so it's like, and it's amazing to think, but you can keep building that. And it's in my eyes, like we've been successful, from all the experiences I've been able to take part in.
Well, I think like with, even with digital downloads last year, I think what were there, only 24 million digital downloads in the UK.
Oh, really?
Last year, something like that. So, I mean, and albums sold were 89 million.
Right.
So it's a big, even the digital stuff is still rising, is what I'm saying. It's still only a quarter of the overall sales
right.
of anything that's been going around. Right. So, I mean, when you got in, which is interesting for me because as a musicologist, is that in the mid 90s, for a lot of people who are doing the indie music scene, that was the fat time. That's when all the fat paychecks happened for real independent bands. And like the grunge scene had just hit and What's His Nose had just offed himself. Right. So there was all these people with a lot of money saying, who's going to be the next Nirvana, or who can we throw our money into to keep it going, to keep this grunge rock. So all these little bands caught up with stuff like that. But back then, hip-hop, I mean, even though the money was around there, no one was saying, hey, this is the next thing this is the next one of the next big movements that's coming along. Right. Especially for digital music that's going to save a ton of stuff. And you got into it then, not a lot happening. Now there seems to be a lot more, I think, to a certain extent. So what avenues are you guys going? Like, what are the big projects that are out there that should be looking at Celsius 7 and the Psychokinetics?
I mean, anyone that loves hip-hop, heads as we call them, it's like my goal, is to just get as many people in the world to find out about our music, because even our old music is new to so many people. And I just want anyone that feels the culture and the music to get a chance to hear what we have to say and the music we're providing. And
yeah, but how do you do that? What company's going to be out there? That's a good question.
You don't know. You know what? See, that's the thing, Bill, is it's like...
Are there companies?
There used to be... I used to have the fantasy when I first started doing music. Like, say, when I was, 21, 22. It's like, yeah, we're dope. We're going to get signed by a label. It's like, oh, this... omnipotent like being out there that's gonna be like, you're good, we're gonna discover you and take you to the promised land. And like, I call it jaded or whatever you want, but it's just like you go through all the successes we've been had have been great, but it hasn't been because of that. And there's still a chance stuff like that can happen, because you can't look at like Krayshawn or there's this dude Mac Lethal that it's like nowadays you could be. No one knows about you, anonymous, and then you make a YouTube video, and all of a sudden you're an overnight sensation. Look at Krayshawn, got $1 million, recording contract with Columbia. This other dude put out. It's just like that kind of magic can still happen for people's careers. But overall, it's like I think a lot of us have realized a while ago. It's like, why are we waiting for someone else? Let's make this ourselves, get our own following, make all the money off the albums, make all the money off the tours. Like it's a lot more hard work, but you don't have 8 people in your pocket, and you're also not being told what you got to do. You just do what you want to do from the heart, and you got to put in the work. And maybe there's luck in it. You might get a break, quote unquote, but you just got to work your ass off, and it doesn't feel like work because you enjoy what you're doing. But there's definitely it's like 99% rejection, with what you're doing. But that 1% that I've experienced over my career, it's been amazing. I would never trade it. And that's part of the reason why my album is Life Well Spent. Like, I'm just like, I don't regret anything, while all my, my peers, some of them were like, oh, what are you doing? You should be, work at Xerox and you get the corporate job and da-da-da. I'm like, nah, that's not what I want to do. I don't care about money that much. I care about experience and enjoying life, and this is where my heart has led me, is to do this music.
And besides, so Xerox is headquartered down here. You'd have to live by the beach, below the airport.
I tried.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
did you try and live down here?
I did for a little bit. Yeah. A good friend of mine is this dude named another rapper named Dirt Nasty. We grew up together in Alameda, and I've always thought like, God, he's doing fun, good things down here. I should be here with him and his little entourage, like, it was always in my head. And about 3 years ago, I came here and I lived here. I just gave it I dipped my toe in the water just for like 4 months.
What part of LA?
I lived in Laurel Canyon.
Oh, wow. Hippie.
Yeah. A little up there. I mean, it's great and relaxing, but it was enough for me to find out that like for what I wanted to be doing and accomplishing, I didn't need to be here. Like I love to visit here. LA's great, but I'm from the Bay. That's like where I feel most comfortable, and that's where I like to operate from. So it was good that I came here for that time and tried it. So now I don't think about it, So yeah. It's good. Yeah.
Well, what's the Bay? Whenever I think of the Bay, I think of a lot of I think a lot of industrial buildings actually, and a lot of houses crammed right next to each other. But
really?
Yeah. What is it like?
I mean,
for me, that's never been there, but for an artist.
Oh, you've never been there?
Not to Oakland, dude. Only to San Francisco, and then.
Well, you're there. I mean, if you're in San Francisco, you're in Oakland. They're very different, but I mean, they're only 10 miles away from each other, at the most. So it's
Yeah.
for me, it's very diverse. I love it. I lived in San Francisco, and I actually have a song that talks about the Bay. If you want to play a little sample of it, you could.
Which one?
It's called Rep the Bay. Oh, it's RTB. That's right. It was written in code. But it's just a beautiful place. There's a lot of, you're close to the ocean, the snow, the forest. There's beautiful, like, the art scene there is just gorgeous, and the food, and I just love it, man. I'm completely biased, but there's no smog either, which is really cool.
I always get an idea that it's very urban and it's very like brick.
It is in
older.
parts. In Oakland Oakland to San Francisco reminds me of Manhattan to Brooklyn. You know what I mean? It's like the differences you would see there. I find a lot of the same ones in my experience. So.
And have you spent time on the East Coast?
A lot, yeah.
A lot of time?
A lot, yeah.
Touring or?
Some of that, and then a lot of my family lives in New York, near Poughkeepsie. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The suburbs.
Yeah, I guess. They live along the Hudson. I mean, it's gorgeous up there, too.
Yeah.
Damn, I love it there. I love the East Coast.
Yeah,
like,
me
I have an
too.
affinity for the East Coast. Like, if you believe in, like, past lives or whatever, it's like I feel like I was there at one point, or there's just something that draws me there, So.
For me, it's New England. Yeah, I mean, I just went back to Manchester. I'm going to go back to Manchester. I think next week I'll be in Manchester for the presidential primary.
Oh, cool.
Because I know one of the candidates, this guy Fred Karger, and he's up there. But you're right, the whole East Coast has a really cool way. It's got a hustle to it that you don't really have in Southern California. It's probably a little bit different up in Oakland.
It's definitely different.
I mean, much more of a hustle, right?
I mean, all throughout. I mean, if you look at people racing down the street on Market Street in San Francisco compared to, like Fifth Ave or, in New York, it's definitely, they're more crazy in New York and on a mission. That's what I like about the Bay, too. It's a little bit slower of a pace. Oakland, even more so than San Francisco, it's like you have more space, there's more trees. I could park in front of my house, people will look you in the eye, and say what's up, and it feels a little more country in Oakland compared to San Francisco, which is not at all. It's not country. I mean, Oakland is one of the, it's a city. I mean, it's a big ass city, and it gets crazy there, but it has a bad reputation, but it's also not that warranted. I mean, there's definitely a lot of murders, but it happens in a lot of places where there's poverty and drugs, and it's like we have those problems, but it's also, even with that, it's a beautiful culture over there, man. It's like, I think you have to be there to kind of feel it, what it's like. It's like, it's the same pride people have for New York or even LA. Everyone loves growing up in LA too, if you're from here. And it's like, I feel the same way for the Bay.
Yeah, well, I fell in love with LA. I fell in love with this area specifically. This is sort of a Oaklandian area, this Silver Lake area right around here. A lot of artists, and then more so even moving up to Mount Washington and stuff like that. So you're down in LA because you've got a concert, you got a performance tomorrow night.
No, I did. I actually came here just to see friends and family. Some of my family lives in LA too, so I was supposed to be doing something, and then I had to pass on it. So I'm here for you, man.
Cool, man. You decided to just say skip all that deal.
Yeah.
Skip all that noise. What'd you do for New Year's? What'd you do for the New Year's?
I fell asleep before my 7-year-old niece is what I did for New Year's. No, my sister had a party at her house, and I don't like to get too crazy on that. Everyone's out there getting all faded and crashing into each other, so I prefer house parties on New Year's. That's what we did. It was great.
Yeah.
Ate well, drank well. I made some nice mixed drinks. And
I was thinking about that, too. I was thinking, you know what? I don't need a day like that day to tell me, all right, the new year. Yeah, right. Hooray.
Yeah.
It's more like I do that. I enjoy myself. Like today is the greatest day ever, a whole new day, a lot of times during the year.
Yeah.
That I don't really feel I need to do it. You don't need to have one day.
I don't think so.
Where that happens. All I did was you can't tell, but out there in the rest of the house, I actually cleaned up a huge amount of paper trash.
Oh, good.
You see the remnants. There's still collateral damage all in the Tajmahoney of different papers, but I've successfully gone through a huge amount of awful paperwork. You can just put that on the table.
I'm just going to stick it right here.
No, you can put it on the table. It comes off the. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, if you just want to
gum on your furniture.
Well, that furniture is fine because that's been that I used to do a
the
podcast.
fart pillow. Sorry.
No, not the fart pillow, which it is not. sir. It is the red table in front of you. I bought those tables, and they were specially laminated because I used to do podcasts in here. We'd have Berlin, the girl from Berlin, Martha Davis from the Motels, and a couple other people. And then we'd have the Hip Step Lounge, which was a bunch of hip-hop knuckleheads would gather, about 10 of their friends in here. And
Cool.
It would be an incredible, crazy party and shouting match, and beer and blunts would be all over the table. So I had to have everything sort of Simonized in the place. So, but this is awesome. So you're down here just for us. What do you got as far as your concert? Because you said you've gone to Singapore?
Yeah, I've been lucky enough to go around the world, like not completely on every continent, but this new year I'm going to be doing a lot in 2012. So
do you have anything inked in, or just some wishes?
Yeah,
what
definitely.
Do you got
No, I
up?
do. I also, another one of the jobs I do is I work for a symphony. It's a video game symphony, so it's all video game music with visuals to the games, and it's called Play. And also another one that is for Legend of Zelda.
What?
Yeah, it's really fun. So I've been lucky enough to work on that. And
Legend of Zelda, so it's for the Wii?
Yeah, well, it was the 25th anniversary of Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
And we partnered with Nintendo, and we're doing this whole concert series with them. So you're playing in Dallas on January 10th, and then just all around the world. So one of the cool things for me is that I've been able to go with this symphony, and everywhere that I have a show with the symphony, I book shows for myself, because a lot of the hardest things sometimes is like, if you're decent, halfway decent, it's not that hard to get a show. You know, it's hard for them to say, I'm going to put up $1,500 and fly you here and put you in a hotel. And that happens sometimes, but it's more like, hey, yo, I'm going to be in Vancouver. Like, what's up? And then, yeah, definitely. Let's do this. And then it's like, I'm able to do my symphony and my hip hop and stay extra days. And it's been a blessing to be able to work on that show. So,
yeah, because then you got everything else covered. You got your nut covered with the symphony. So the symphony, This is weird. So you do electronic. So you're doing the electronic music for the symphony too, or you do arrangements?
No.
What's your
I'm actually
gig?
I'm the front of house producer for the symphony. So it's like a whole separate thing. And one of my best friends has created the whole show, and he works with them. So it's just been like this lucky break that I've gotten where my skill set matched what the job needed. And through doing that and doing these shows, like different places for Celsius 7, that music, I just keep meeting all these other people. And then all of a sudden I am getting flown to Singapore, or, I'm performing in Japan, or, it's just like, it's just amazing. Like when you get out there and all the connections you start to make, and you network, and all the good things that can happen, So then the new year, I'm going to be like all through Canada, Vancouver, Montreal, Toronto, Denver, and then all through the States. And there's plans for like South America for it. So I'm working right now on booking all those shows, and then also just working on new videos for my album. So
you're kidding me.
Yeah,
like
great.
South America would be beautiful, and even Canada.
Yeah,
I mean, I can't imagine how you guys would travel across Canada in the spring or the summer with train or bus or however they'd put you up. That's going to be amazing.
That's beautiful, man. It's so pretty. And that's one of the things is like Psychokinetics was such a cool project to be a part of. But it was like there was 3 to 4 to 5 of us sometimes, and it's so hard to try to get promoters to get everyone to do that. And then also everyone has other lives. They're like, oh, I can't do it. I got to work, or we got a kid, or so it's like that's why I wanted to create my own music also, so I could just go and not have to think about what everyone else's schedules are like. So
that's awesome. I mean, that's what I was telling someone the other day. It's not always who you know. It's like where you put yourself. Because if you can't be somewhere where someone can hear you or, be introduced to you, well, then you're not going to know the people to know if you're not where you need to be.
You got to get out there, man, for sure, and just see what happens. There's a lot of possibility out there, I think,
It's amazing. It's amazing. I'm speaking with Jacob from Celsius 7 in the Tajmahoney. You're promoting your new album, Life Well Spent. Everyone should go to psychokinetics.com and go check out all the tracks there. You can go to Reverb Nation and just check out Celsius 7, spelled just like the temperature. Why'd you choose that name, by the way?
You know what? It has no meaning at all. It was like when I was younger, rapping, I was like, oh, this name sounds cool.
Yeah, because I mean,
I thought it sounded cool, and I try to like I'll make up stories for people. Sometimes
you were
but
born
I
when
mean,
this
no.
country was saying that we're all going to go to Celsius. I mean, I think there was
Whoa.
some Time or Newsweek article that came out in '75 or something that said we're all going to be on the metric table by the '80s. So we got to get stuff together.
We should be. It makes no sense.
And no, it does. It makes plenty of sense. I don't understand. I can't gauge a 23-degree weather from a 24-degree weather.
I forgot.
But
the
yet
formula.
it's like 3 degrees in between those babies right there. But so there's a lot, there's a lot that and just the fact that boiling water, it has no basis in my life for a temperature thing, or the way where ice freezes really doesn't have that much of a basis. And yet that's where they put it. I know you're not the scientist, you're a musician.
No, I mean, I'm trying to think. I'm like racing through my head trying to remember my science. That's where I knew the formula to like, and I always forget it.
When we used to worship the water god, yes, it used to be important.
Yeah. So for me, it was just like, I thought it sounded cool as like an MC name, and it doesn't mean a lot to me besides like.
No, I like it as a name.
It's a name.
I don't like it as a temperature
Okay,
scale.
I get you.
I love it as a name. Like Celsius, Fahrenheit, all those things, even Kelvin to a certain
Kelvin's
degree
cool.
is cool
You're a
as
nerdy
well.
rapper.
All those things are super cool. I think Celsius 7. What is but you don't know. It's not like a Kurt Vonnegut book.
No. You know, it's
Something
funny.
like
Like
that?
if you Google Celsius 7, CELSIUS, and then the number 7, this dude's book comes up that's Celsius 77, and it's all about like Islamic terrorism and all this stuff. And I'm like, people are probably gonna think like that's what my music is about and whatnot, but it's really nothing, dude. I did
You're not
in
political
searching
at all.
for me. I mean, of course I am, yeah, but not. I'm not. It's like it doesn't take my focus. All
Oh
the
yeah,
time,
that's
you know?
right. You're that one. The
that's-
first song I played was all political.
It
That's right.
definitely is in my realm, but it is just what it is. Like it's just a name.
I think most people are like that, though. I mean, we know exactly. There's so much you have to do. So much these days. We have to know, so much as far as skill sets. Like you have to know how to do stuff on the phone. You have to know how to do stuff on the computer. You have to know how to do stuff, and all those do it differently. And then you have to know how to do stuff in other people's computers, and then you have to know how to interact with, every single gadget that we have in our lives now, from the car to whatever to GPS. It's all a skill set that I think most people just understand now in politics what is an injustice, but they can't really say. They leave it to the leaders, I think, and that's where the leaders have failed us in the past couple of decades, where to recognize, what we think are injustices and, the solutions to those things. But so you're not
a lot going on.
Yeah, you don't have to deal with those political things.
I mean, of course I do. It's it's for me. There's so much shit going on in the world that it would just frustrate the hell out of you. And I don't want to be completely ignorant, but a lot of it too. I just don't want to swim in that pool that much. I want to live in in my own little kind of happy bubble as much as possible, because there's too much shit to get down on about in the world, you know what I mean? And I want to help with injustice where I can, and a lot of times with music, it's like my form of being political, starting with Psychokinetics, is making music that help people like feel better about themselves in this fucked up system and world, and be able to like look at things differently, and like for me, like just people having low self-esteem, that's like the scourge of our society, because people can't operate, and that's a lot of that's brought on for political reasons, because you're being fed all this shit on TV of how you should be, blah blah blah. We all so we know what's happening, but it's like I want to make music that make people be aware of shit and be like, oh, and feel better, and just like that was a lot of my original vehicle, is just telling my story and hope other people, we all relate to each other,
Enriching life with building a little culture around people that people can get interested in.
And at the same time, it's helping me, because I'm telling, working through things myself, or writing a song and getting through it. And we're all the same, man. It's just like you're going to connect with it, and hopefully that helps you. And those are some of the songs I write. Other ones are like, hey, grab my dick, let's party. It's like, my ultimate goal with my music is just having it be like someone's meeting me, and we're going to talk about politics, we're going to joke, we'll talk about sports, we're going to laugh, we're going to cry. It's just like that's what I want it to be, is just a reflection of who I am and my perception of the world, kind of.
You know what I dig about your music too is that you use a lot of instruments.
Yeah.
Like you use a lot of. I mean, in the 2 songs that we played so far, it's a lot of rock, a lot more rock influence. Than,
those 2, yeah, are a little harder like that
than you get in some of the other hip hop. You know, except for, I guess, Plastilina Mosh did a little bit of that, but they used a lot of, they did a lot of sort of Latino music too, in reggae and reggaeton with theirs, as well as electronic.
Yeah, it's really on the new album, it's just heavy mental, and I could see the first one, Minds Like Me, is kind of like that, but for the most part, it's not like, I don't have a lot of rock influence in the music I make. I like to think it's kind of just straightforward, like hip hop, you know, and people that listen to hip hop, it's like head nod and shit, hard drums and dope. You know,
where do you get your music
samples.
too? Because you said you're not doing samples, but you're
a little bit of sampling, but a lot of it you have to disguise it, like we were talking about the music licensing thing. So this album, I worked with this guy High Right, who's an amazing producer. I work with Dirt Nasty, Denizen, Ill Media. I've worked with this guy Mofono before, Headnotic. I'm sure I'm going to leave someone out. And it's just a lot of local producers. I get beats, and then I'll get beats from dudes in other countries. I worked with this guy Uppercut in Japan. It's just, again, with the being out there and meeting people, you get beats from everywhere. But the guys I named are the main dudes that I've worked with because we're in the same community of artists in San Francisco and Oakland, you know. So I do that. And then what I tend to do is I'll get a beat in its like skeleton form a lot of times, and then at that point it becomes a collaboration between the original producer and myself and whoever else, because I'm like, oh, you know, let's do some drums like this here, or, you know, let's add cowbell, you know, or whatever.
But you're not bending and twisting the rhythm and putting it like in a just get the low frequencies, or taking that low frequency and twisting it up.
It's like, everything. I mean, it's anything you can imagine. The dudes I work with are so talented, and like, you know, they do that kind of stuff. You know, I got a lot of gearheads in the crew that know how to do it, and then we'll have people come in and play live drums and, you know, horns, or it's anything you can imagine is we do in the studio. You know, live it's usually just a DJ or 2 DJs with some MCs. You know, so it's very like straightforward hip hop in that sense. But when we're recording, there's a lot of musicianship, you know, being put into it.
You know, we were going to do a live thing. Let me play this song and then see if I can get together some stuff. Would you mind doing a live thing? You know what?
Okay.
And if you want, I got a little invention here called the Chaosillator.
Oh, you got a little chaos pad?
Yeah.
Kind of thing? Yeah.
Well, it is. It is the chaos pad. Yeah. It's a Chaosillator. Do you want to try and jam with the?
You know what? If you want to make a beat, I'll freestyle it over it if you want me to.
I am only color commentary.
I don't. Well, that's the thing. I don't even know how to use one of those things. I'm sorry to say, man. I don't. That's more on the production end, which I'm more of the writer and performer, and you know, there's a couple things I could play on an MPC. A little bit.
What's
which
that?
Is a drum machine. Yeah. So if you had one of those, I could make a beat and play around with it. But yeah, I'm not a producer. I help with a lot of the music, but I don't know what that'll sound horrible. It looks like an Etch-a-Sketch to me.
It is. It's just all it is a trackpad, and it makes cool different sounds out of it.
Well, but if you want to play instrumental, I'll do a live song if you want me to.
I'm gonna play right now. I'm gonna play your song "Let Me At 'Em."
Yeah, that's a good one.
Featuring Foreign Legion.
Yeah,
and then we're gonna come back and do that. And I might actually. Now I feel like you might have someone shoot me if I play the wrong note though, because you're from Oakland.
Yeah,
and you do hip hop.
Gangster, I'll fuck you up.
All right, this is Jacob from Celsius 7 Error FM Live. Let me at him. Let me at him. Here we go. Let me at him.
It's coming. There it is.
That was me. I dig these beginnings. Too retro.
Let me at 'em. We got mics and spit, and yo, we ready to rip, but let me at 'em. Let me at 'em. Got 'em jumping they shit and peeling out in they whips, so let me at 'em. Let me at 'em. Lyrics low loaded like clips and spray it out in the mix. But let me at 'em, let me at 'em. Shaking, licking their lips, the junkies eating the fix. Come on.
There's a million MCs who claim they want some, but my sound grab pounds and make the ears go numb. Skipping on the fads, I ain't gonna go dumb. A rum pum 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 pum, hidey hee ho hum. Your rhymes bore me, I implore thee. Drop the mic and quit because you ain't said shit and they adore me. Hear them roaring, tooth and climb spit, they moshing in my pit. But moving on, my rhyme's strong, but they lackluster. Playing games for fame like lame ass busters. Last chance to dance, going out like Custer. Surrounded by the engine, sorting doo-doo mustard. This a hobby of mine, and I'm sicker than you. I think quicker than you, cause I got Rick in my stool. Well, what you fitting to do? I'm slapping missions on fools. I'm using written as tools, cause I got lyrics and spools, so check it. You think you're testing, baby? Bye-bye. Won't turn up down the alley and you facing a fly guy. My fist of nice size for making you capsize. If I stick on your black eyes, I'm chilling with black guys, yeah. Head to the border, go get a taco. The Heinz, they love me because I'm flashy and flacco. See me in my next role, starring as Paco. In my hello copper hollering on my way back to Lagos.
Let me at 'em, let me at 'em. We got mics and spit and yo, we ready to rip. But let me at 'em, let me at 'em. Got 'em jumping their ships and peeling out in their wigs. So let me at 'em, let me at 'em. Lyrics loaded like clips and spraying out in the mix. But let me at 'em, let me at 'em. Shaking, licking their lips, the junkies eating the fix.
I'm a wizard of the word, stand back, I burst off. Blissing on your nerves, you swimming with the turds. My spit is so absurd, son, flow is foolish. Style laid back, don't get up till noonish. Blow fire in my house shoes, corduroy. Never been a Superman, but I'm a soldier boy. Salute the Sarge when you see me on call. Got more stripes and bars than zebras and pub crawls. Claiming you buck all, really your thug dolls. 50 shows up and you're ready to hug balls. I'm heavy to crush walls, ready to bust y'all. Me versus you, yeah, that's a tough call. If Helen Keller voted and Buddha made the beat, yeah, Jesus ghost voted, and I still might end up double XL quoted. They say that sex sells, so I must be loud.
Let me at 'em, let me at 'em. We got mics and spit and yo, we ready to rip. But let me at 'em, let me at 'em. Got 'em jumping their ships and peeling out in their wigs. So let me at 'em, let me at 'em. Lyrics loaded like clips and spraying out in the mix. But let me at 'em, let me at 'em. Shaking, licking their lips, the junkies eating the fix.
We come together like fingers on a fist when it's doubled up. FLC, 7 DJs, buckle up. I start rhyming and can't nobody shut me up. Coming up was rough, but I never had a lust for blood. I crumble nugs, smoking puff and stuff. I'm down to cut some rug if I can suck some jugs. Still do it for the love. Came here tonight to get you out of your rut and get it jumping like David Lee Roth. Playing double dutch, hands where my eyes could see. That's what the bus a bus. Get 'em hype, get 'em up like a cup of mud. Your luck is up, you washed up like rubber ducks. Want the mic after me, you need some oven gloves. I'm the kind of guy trouble loves, be a guzzler. Y'all against us, you'll never last like puppy love. Hip-hop ain't dead, I just kicked it in a fucking
Let me at 'em, let me at 'em. We got mics and spit and yo, we ready to rip. But let me at 'em, let me at 'em. Got 'em jumping their ships and peeling out in their whips. So let me at 'em, let me at 'em. Lyrics loaded like clips and spraying out in the mix. But let me at 'em, let me at 'em. Shaking, licking their lips, the junkies eating the fix.
Yeah, now it is super hipster. Let me at 'em.
Yeah, but
That was awesome. Featuring Foreign Legion. Now, is he French or is it just a...
no, it's a group. These two, it's Mark Stretch and Prozac Turner, and they're also from the Bay. Really good group. You can check them out. Foreign Legion has been putting it down for a while. They're incredible.
Cool.
Yeah. Really
I'm
good.
speaking with, this is Jacob from Celsius 7. You can check out all of his stuff and his group, the group, Psychokinetics.com. That's Psychokinetics.com. You came down here, and even though you have a sister that works in a big radio station that actually plays this type of music, you still felt it necessary to come down here to Error FM.
I don't think it
and
works
perform
like that,
for the
man.
Bill Show.
She does work for a big radio station, but you know how it is. It's like if you can't.
They don't have-
for indie hip hop. It's like you go on college radio. You know, it's like I don't have. You got to have someone that's going to put you on the airwaves like that. So
Yeah, but don't they have a New Year's Eve party that you could have performed at?
Could have just
or
been
what?
like, "Here's my demo." What's up, Pharrell? Nah. If there was an opportunity, my sister definitely would have tried to do that for me.
And I was mentioning that because this is the deal with radio these days. I mean, what do the kids want to listen to? They want to listen to live stuff. They want to be entertained. They want to know who's up and coming because they want to be one of those up and comers. Especially if they're interested in radio, they're also going to be interested in being a DJ. Of
that's a
any
good way to go.
of whatever sort, or of producing music. It's part of their skill set that they're going to want to continue to go on with. And what does radio do? They don't do any of this stuff. You know, they're never doing it. And this is like either Kiss or whether you listen to the new one, Amp, or whether you listen to that other one that's on. It's I think there's 4 of them, The Beat or something like that. None of them go out there and reach who's out there and would spend any amount of time. I mean, there was one that they would do this rush hour thing, and they would only play music for like 55 minutes out of the hour, and it was the rush hour, and that was 55 minutes. But and I don't think they do that anymore. But no, radio's just dropped the ball. You know, and I got to thank you for coming here to the Bill Show on errorfm.com and giving us this music, and then wanting to actually perform as well, because I mean that's what I love. I mean, all I love to do is to record you guys doing your stuff. So you were gonna do the track that you picked out was Pop.
Yeah, this one's called Pop Rocks.
I'm not going to play live to it with the K-oscillator. I think there's the K-oscillator.
We did that for the Circus remix. That one's great.
I will play that afterwards, after you leave, when I'm rebroadcasting your stuff on for the Friday show or on Thursday, the last hour of Thursday, which I might do the best of. I might play to it then. But yeah, like I say, I don't want you to shiv me. So, I think is that the way you hip hoppers say that? Shiv? Is that the
I mean, I'm Jewish. I'll kill you slowly with guilt.
I would almost prefer it if you stabbed me, sir, because I had the Catholic grandmother. Same thing. They just worship the son. That's all, not the father. So it's a little bit less of a guilt, but still almost the same. So let's go with this. I got Jacob from Celsius 7. Who is Celsius 7? Psychokinetics.com. Check out this stuff. I'm going to do the live thing, and then you're going to play us out. This is going to play out the thing, and then I'm just going to go right to the news. So thank you so much for coming in here and doing this.
Yeah, thanks.
And your thanks will be the applause at the end of your thing. So let's see. Let's do a test and make sure I got it at a good level.
Check.
Right now, let's see.
Yo, I was born in the 80s. You can turn up the beat a little bit louder in my head there, Bill. Pump that shit.
In your head.
In my head, yeah.
That one?
Yo, hey, Bill, where's my leg warmers at, dude?
There you go.
Oh, man, where's my comb? I'm about to brush out my tail. This is dedicated to my 80s babies. I wrote this.
No, hold on. Let me go back. I'm starting it all over because now I just want to make sure we get this clean.
Pulling it out.
I know you're doing so well.
Ready to dip it.
I did the whole. I iced you just like the.
And that's all the time we have today on the show.
I'll see you there, Error FM Live. This is the Bill Show coming up next. No, okay, here we go. This is Jacob Celsius 7 Error FM Live.
Pop Rocks, baby. Yeah. See, I was born and raised in the 80s, and I kind of miss those times, you know, so every once in a while I dip back into the memory banks and think about back in the days. I wrote this here on a Monday while you was at work feeling hella lame. You see, I'm a bad dude like the video game. I got attitude, call you out your name. I wear Ray-Bans and sport neon socks. Fat gold chains, got 3 pet rocks. No keyboard beats, I love to beatbox. Still smoke spliffs, blunts make me cough. I bump cassettes and scratch CDs out my boombox. No MP3s, breaking wild style and the crush groove made me do all of the things I do, cause I was geeked off Space Invaders, pop rock zots and now and laters. Pop lock props, I was a skater, huffing paint in an elevator. Was by the Dougie Fresh, Colgate clean, never brushed with Crest. First rap I spit was through my headphone, and Purple Rain, the first tape I own. King of Rock, Run DMC, Herbie Hancock, and Biz Marquee. Damn, I miss those days when we laid cardboard out on the A-Town streets, played Nintendo and stole wine coolers, apple pipes, and Ricks on rulers. Up, down, left, right, A, B, start, C, no death. Quick with words, control the breath. You see, that's what makes a young MC fresh. I got my Walkman loud, I'm making songs for the deaf. That's DEF, most DEF. Got your pants with Genera top. Baby blue Jordans, man, hard to stop. Shaved on the sides, long bangs on the top. I'm a local celebrity, young Tony Hot. Keg in the hills, sitting on a stump. Macking to the baby with the hairspray pump. Got play at the dance, but I didn't shake the rump. I barely got a grunt, I'm a 2-pump chump. Now some might say you living in the past, and I might say kiss my perfect ass. Then lay back as I crack a smile, cause I could throw a pigskin a quarter mile. And I was geeked off Space Invaders, pop rock zots and now and laters. Pop lock props, I was a skater, huffing paint in an elevator. I learned about life by watching MTV. Money for nothing and my chicks for free. I rock a Rubik's Cube necklace screaming, where's the beef? I love the 80s, don't change the beat. I said I love the 80s, don't change the beat.
I'm done. Go get me a Joe Cola.
I said, get it. Get it, Bill.
Yo, I don't know who was on this mic, man. This thing smell awful here. Awful.
Thank you.
That was amazing. Thank you for coming in here. That's Jacob from Celsius 7. Check them out on the internet. Check them out on SoundCloud. Check them out at Psychokinetics, right?
.com. Yeah, we're everywhere. Just Google Celsius 7, CELSIUS 7. There's so much stuff out there. Calrissian, Psychokinetics. We're putting it down for the Bay. And thank you for having me in here.
Thank you. This is you're the first group to be in here in the new year, and I couldn't be happier. Error FM Live. Thanks, Jacob.
Sir.
You rock. I wanted to say you guys rock, but yeah, the whole thing rocks because that was fantastic.
Thanks, man.
You couldn't have done that really any better.
Thank you.
That was amazing. I tried to ice you, and yet you came out like a professional.
Thanks a lot, man.